Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we'll talk about modules. So, let's dive in. So, what in the world is a module? So, a module is just a Python file containing code you want to include in your program. So, you can use the import keyword to include a module. The good news is Python has some cool built-in modules which you can import and use. But also, you can just create your own modules. But why should you even care of creating your own modules? Okay, sometimes you might have a large program and it is useful to break it into separate reusable files which can be readable and easy to manage. So if that sounds interesting, let's learn about modules. Let us start with the built-in modules. So to get a list of built-in modules that are found in the standard Python library, you can use the help function. So I'll just write here help. Then in this help function, you can pass in the word modules like this. Then I can just print this so that you can see it in the terminal. So if I just print and run this code, okay, that took some time. But here are the list of different modules available to you. A few you can recognize like the copy that you used in the list video. One of my favorite one is this one called the pickle. See here. I like it because of its cool name, but unfortunately it has nothing to do with pickles. It's just used for serialization. To list all the different variables and functions found within a module, you can place that name of the module within the help function. For example, with this math module up here, let me go and get it. It's here. There's this math module. If I want to know the variables and functions in that module, I can just write that name of that module in this help function here like that. And now if I run this code, let me just kill this terminal and run it again. I'll get all the variables and functions that are found within the math module. And you can see here the names, and I can just press enter to get even more. So once I press enter until it ends, so I can just press enter until there's no more thing there. So you can see here I have access to these variables like the pi, which its value is 3.14. I can access the pi through the math module, and also have access to these functions like the square root, sine, and the rest. So that is how you get the details about a specific module. So now let us learn how to import a module and use it. To include a module in your program, you can use the import keyword, and there are three main ways of importing a module. The first way is just to write the import keyword, then your module name. So for example, I wanted to import the math module, I'll just write import, then I can say math like that. So now I have access to all the variables and functions that are there in the math module. For example, I've already seen that the math module has the variable pi. So I can just access pi by writing the module name, then I put a dot, then I can say pi. So those syntax is used to access the variable and functions available in a module. If I say math.py, I'll access the pi. And if I print this, let me just print so that you can see. If I print this, you can see the terminal will get 3.14 and some change. And that is what you saw in the module. So this is one way of including a module into your file. The other way is to using and the alias way. You can say import math, then use as, then you give it an alias name. For example, I can say m. And this alias is useful for if you have long modules. Let's say if the module name is too long and you cannot repeat it every time, you can just use an alias. An alias, you say that is just a nickname or another name of that thing. So if I use an alias, everywhere where I have math, I'll not use math, I'll use the name of that alias because I've imported math as m. So everywhere I have math, I'll be using m.py, and that is how aliases work. You already learned about alias before. So if I run this code, you can see the value of pi will still be 3.14 and some change. Okay, the other way is to use the from keyword. So with from, you import a specific variable or function in that module. So if I want to import the pi, I can say from, then I put the name of the module, that is math, then I say from math, then I'll say import pi. And if you use this syntax, you don't need this module name and the dot, you just say pi like that, and you still get the same output. That is 3.14 and some change. It's there. Okay, but this is not, to use this from, you have to be keen, because you might have other names. You have seen you're using it pi like that. So if you have another variable in your program called pi, there might be a conflict. So you have to be keen using this. That's why I prefer the other ones, because in these other ones you can see explicitly that I'm getting this pi from the math object, so it will not confuse me when I'm writing the code. But everyone has their own preference and it's allowed. So that was an example of a built-in module in Python. And when we started, we said that you can have your own modules. And to create your own module, just create a file. You can just create your file. So maybe I can just create my file in this modules folder. Let me call it, I can just give it any name. Let me call it my module. Then you just have that .py extension. Then inside this module, I can just put anything that I want to reuse. So allow me to use this code here. Where is it? It's here. These are the things that I've been using in the previous videos. So I've created a file called my module, and in this file I have this function that we had for greeting people that takes in a parameter name, then displays hello, the name of that argument. Then also I have this pi that we had before. Then I have this class of circle that defines a circle and returns the area of that circle. So it has an attribute radius and this method area. So this is just an example of a module. So to use this module, I can just import it, just that like the way we did there. I can just use any syntax that I want. So here I'll use the import. So I'll just say import. Then my module name is called my module, like that. So once I import this module, I have access to all the variables and function. And you can see my module has this function greet. And if I want to access that, I just say my module dot, you can see dot, I have access to this greet. And this greet is a function that expects you to pass a name. Maybe I can pass my name there. Done. And this greet will return hello, done. You can see here it will return hello, done. So maybe I can just print this so that you can see it in the terminal. And if I run this, you can still print in the terminal hello, done. Yeah, so that is how you can create your own module. So this was just a random module which has classes. You can use any of this, and to access them you have seen that you can use the dot syntax. And that is the importance of module. It helps you organize your code well and reduces and makes your code to be usable, because now in any file, if I want to use this class circle, I'll just have to import my module, then say module dot circle. Every time if I want to use this greet function, I'll just import my module and say module dot greet. And that is what we call code reusability. And also you can see, since now my code is clean because I'm just using this greet function, and there's a few lines of code because I organized my code well. That is called code organization. So see you in the next video where we learn about packages. So peace out.